Melody Sherry has reached her breaking point, and this time, she isn't whispering, hinting, or trying to keep the peace for the sake of the children. She's moving with quiet precision, cold determination, and the type of confidence that comes from finally realizing you don't have to endure chaos just because you once loved the person creating it. Something shifted in her spirit, and when that shift happened, the entire energy surrounding this situation changed. Martell crossed a line he never should have gone near, and now Melody is responding the only way that still makes sense legally, firmly, and with zero apologies. It didn't matter how many times she tried to stay cordial. It didn't matter how hard she worked to separate co-parenting from the past. It didn't matter how many boundaries she built. Martell found a way to bulldoze through every single one of them, until the only option she had left was to protect her peace through the one system Martell can't out-argue, out-perform, or out-manipulate: the law. And the moment word got out that Melody had officially taken legal action, the entire fanbase went silent in shock. Not because they didn't see it coming, but because they didn't think she would finally go this far. She's always been the one who tried to rise above. The one who believed in healing. The one who chose silence over war. But here's the twist: sometimes silence isn't peace. Sometimes silence is preparation. And Melody has been preparing for a while. Now the story is unfolding, and it's bigger, darker, and more serious than anything that played out on the show. This isn't TV. This isn't a storyline. This is real life, and Melody is done letting Martell spin it for entertainment. To understand why Melody finally took the legal route, you have to go back to the years when she tried everything else first. Long before the cameras were rolling. Long before viewers became emotionally invested. Long before the arguments became clips and memes spread across social media. There was a woman who genuinely tried to save her family, even as the person she loved was destroying it piece by piece. Melody wasn't loud back then. She wasn't dramatic. She wasn't throwing accusations across the room. She was doing what many women do when they're trying to keep a home together, she hoped. Even when the signs became impossible to deny. Even when the truth kept slapping her in the chest. Even when the betrayal repeated itself like a cycle he had no intention of breaking. She stayed. Not because she was weak, but because she believed in the vows she took. She believed in growth. She believed in forgiveness. And most importantly, she believed in the family they built together. She wanted her children to grow up with stability, not drama. She wanted them to see unity, not division. But sometimes unity isn't love. Sometimes unity is a cage with the door wide open. Martell didn't see it that way. For him, as long as he could charm the public, perform his innocence, and sprinkle just enough vulnerability to gain sympathy, the truth didn't matter. He was addicted to control, the type of control that makes someone think they can rewrite reality simply by insisting their version is the right one. And Melody lived through that. Every gaslight. Every denial. Every emotional twist that made her question things she already knew were true. By the time their marriage crumbled, she wasn't the same woman she used to be. Her trust was shattered. Her patience drained. Her self-worth buried under years of disrespect disguised as misunderstandings. Leaving wasn't easy, especially not when Martell tried to drag her through every corner of chaos on the way out. He didn't just fight for the kids. He fought for control. He didn't just challenge her choices. He challenged her character. And behind the scenes, where the cameras couldn't see, things were even more exhausting. Co-parenting turned into conflict. Boundaries became battlegrounds. And every time Melody tried to take a step forward, Martell found a way to pull her 3 steps back. Still, she stayed quiet. She stayed focused. She stayed intentional. She built her businesses, protected her kids, kept her peace, and refused to match his energy no matter how loud he became. She didn't want a war. She wanted stability. But when someone believes chaos is the only language they speak, peace becomes a threat. And Martell reacted to her peace the same way he reacted to her independence, by trying to disrupt it. The final straw didn't happen overnight. It wasn't one explosive argument or one disrespectful moment captured online. It was a buildup of things that slowly chipped away at Melody's patience until it finally snapped. And once it snapped, she didn't shout, she didn't post, she didn't run to interviews. She did something Martell never expected. She called her lawyer. The moment Melody made that call, everything shifted. And here's where the story gets heavy, because the line Martell crossed wasn't just emotional. It wasn't just verbal. It wasn't something she could shrug off or avoid with distance. It was legal. Something happened behind the scenes, something serious enough that Melody understood silence wouldn't protect her anymore. She needed documentation. She needed structure. She needed a judge, not a camera, to intervene. And when Melody goes quiet, that is the warning shot Martell never pays attention to. Rumors started circulating the moment her legal team got involved, not messy gossip, but genuine concern from people who understood just how far things had gone. People close to the situation said Melody didn't make this move lightly. She didn't wake up angry and decide to file papers. She made this decision after collecting every detail, every message, every inconsistency, every moment that showed her she needed something stronger than co-parenting agreements and polite communication. And what nobody expected was the level of preparation Melody had already done. While Martell was focused on social media performances, dramatic lives, shaky speeches, emotional outbursts, Melody was documenting. Not arguing. Not engaging. Just documenting. Every time he crossed a line, she wrote it down. Every time he sent something inappropriate, she saved it. Every time he showed up in a way that raised red flags, she added it to the folder. That folder became the backbone of the legal action she finally took. The question everyone keeps asking is, what exactly did Martell do? Well, insiders are whispering things that go beyond the usual back and forth. Things that raise concerns about boundaries, safety, and stability. Things that convince a mother she needs protection for herself and her children. Things that force courts to intervene because a conversation won't solve it. And here's the twist: Martell didn't see it coming because he was too busy focusing on public optics to realize the consequences forming behind him. Instead of calming the situation, he escalated it. Instead of respecting boundaries, he violated them. Instead of stepping back, he stepped further into dangerous territory. And now the same behavior he used to control the narrative is the same behavior being documented as evidence against him. Fans noticed the shift long before the news broke. Every time Martell went live with a frantic tone, every time he posted a long caption filled with blame and self-pity, every time he tried to rewrite history to make himself look like the hero, it became clearer that something deeper was happening off-screen. His energy changed. He wasn't just defensive. He was panicked. He wasn't just emotional. He was unraveling. And when a man who once prided himself on control begins losing his grip, the truth starts leaking through the cracks. Meanwhile, Melody stayed silent. Not in fear, but in confidence. Quiet confidence. Strategic confidence. The type of confidence that comes when you know the next move isn't going to be made on social media, it's going to be made in court. What people don't realize is that legal action isn't fast. It's not impulsive. It takes time, evidence, and intention. And Melody had all three. The whispers started. She filed something. She asked for court enforcement. She wants protection. She wants boundaries written in legal ink. And the part that stunned everyone was how prepared she was. She didn't show up with vague claims or emotional statements. She showed up with receipts organized, clear, and impossible to refute. She didn't come to argue. She came to secure her future. But here's the part that really shook fans: the legal filing wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about winning. It wasn't about punishing Martell for the past. It was about protecting the present. Because Martell's recent behavior crossed into a territory she could no longer ignore. Insiders say he tried to push her limits one too many times. Maybe it was showing up unannounced. Maybe it was saying something he shouldn't have said. Maybe it was involving the kids in ways that made her uncomfortable. Whatever it wasn't small. It wasn't harmless. It wasn't something she could forgive and move on from. It was a line. And once Martell crossed it, the situation stopped being emotional and became legal. The moment he realized Melody had taken formal action, his behavior shifted again. More frantic posts. More emotional spirals. More attempts to paint himself as misunderstood. But the audience wasn't falling for it this time. They had seen the pattern too many times before. Because the truth is, when someone makes the same mistakes over and over, eventually those mistakes turn into consequences. And Martell is standing in the middle of consequences he created. What people forget is that Melody's choices come from years of trying to protect everyone but herself. She protected the marriage long after it was broken. She protected the children even as the home was falling apart. She protected the narrative by choosing grace when she could have chosen chaos. But grace doesn't stop someone from crossing boundaries. And when those boundaries become blurred, the emotional toll becomes unbearable. The legal action wasn't just a reaction, it was the result of years of accumulated hurt, exhaustion, and disappointment. It was the moment she finally understood that peace isn't given. It's enforced. Her children saw her crying behind closed doors, trying not to break in front of them. They saw the tension, the conflict, the inconsistency. And Melody realized that if she didn't take control of the situation, the fallout would eventually affect them too. She didn't want them to grow up thinking conflict was normal. She didn't want them to believe chaos was a family tradition. She wanted them to see strength, not struggle. And taking legal action was the most painful strength she's ever had to show. For Martell, the emotional impact is different. His world is shifting beneath him, and he doesn't know how to stop it. He built his identity on control, controlling the narrative, controlling the image, controlling the situation. But now that control is slipping. Every live feels like a cry for help. Every post feels like panic disguised as confidence. Every rant feels like the desperation of a man who realizes the power he once had is gone. And the saddest part? This didn't have to happen. He could have chosen peace. He could have respected boundaries. He could have understood that co-parenting isn't a performance, it's a responsibility. But instead, he crossed a line big enough to change everything. Now the question is simple. What happens next? For the first time in this entire journey, Melody is in full control, not through words, not through posts, not through clapbacks, but through action. Legal action. Documented action. Action that can't be twisted, manipulated, or turned into another emotional circus. She isn't fighting him. She isn't arguing with him. She isn't trying to fix him. She is protecting herself. And that's something Martell never expected. The story won't end with a dramatic scene or a heated confrontation. It will end in a courtroom, with signatures, boundaries, and consequences. The place where performances don't matter. Where charm doesn't matter. Where the truth stands alone. Melody tried everything else first. She tried love. She tried patience. She tried silence. She tried distance. Now she's trying protection. And when a woman reaches that point, there is no going back. This isn't a storyline for next season. This isn't entertainment. This is a mother making a choice that ensures her peace will no longer depend on Martell's behavior. The line was crossed.